Hi, Jonathan Maltus at CHâTEAU, introducing the 2020 vintage of CHâTEAU, the wine which is where myself and my family come from, and is the subject of a lot of renovation. We've had diggers all over the place. Anyway, 2020 is the end of a trilogy of 18, 19, 20 phenomenal vintages, with 18 and 20 being very similar and stylistically, in other words, quite masculine, if I can use an old-fashioned expression, as opposed to 19, which was far more perhaps feminine in style. I'll probably get shot for that, for saying it, but this is 85% Merlot. We've increased the amount of Merlot from previous year in that we bought a further 10 hectares of vines, and all of this is from the plain in Saint-Emilion, and really great. So a lot of fruit, great tannins, and I think you're going to really like it. It's got good longevity as well. Okay, so now we're looking at Château LaForge. Château LaForge is the tête de cuvée, if you like, of Château TEYSSIER. So in other words, it's the best parcels that we have from the plain. 92% Merlot, biggest expression of Merlot that we do as a wine. And this is cropped at 4 bunches to the vine, and unbelievably is less than 14 degrees for the style of wine that we've got in this year. 2020 is a big masculine year, as I mentioned on Château TEYSSIER, and certainly pumps through on the taste. Good middle palate, with a fantastic ending to it with longevity. Next one up is VCM, Vieux Château Mazarin. Bob Parker very kindly mentioned that when we produced VCM in 2008, he said, luckily there's a new VCC in town, which is VCM. So Vieux Château Mazarin is where we're building our new winery for Le Dôme, and this is being done with Lord Foster, and we're very over-chuffed and excited. This is the first vintage we've actually vinified in this said winery. In fact, in the parking lot. So if you like, on the basis that I used to be a garagiste, I'm now making wine in a parking lot under canvas. And this is 65% Merlot with a little bit of Cabernet Franc. And it's probably, out of all the wines we make, the biggest. In China, they call it Black Dome, because the label is the opposite of Le Dôme itself. So let's have a slippy slip. Wow, great longevity. This is the wine the most dearest to my heart. We started this in '96. It has the notoriety of being the biggest expression of Cabernet Franc in Saint-Emilion, as hopefully most of you know. Unfortunately, we haven't made a lot of it in this year. We got hit by mildew, so we've actually made less in production terms than we have for the whole of PRIMEUR last year. So expect a rarity about this wine, and if you're a collector of Le Dôme, I really suggest you pile in early on a purchase of it. I would say that anyway. Fantastic. The nose is classic Le Dôme. If you love Cabernet Franc, you'll love this. Slightly more Cabernet Franc than Cheval Blanc and Angelus, who is our near neighbor, and being made at this wonderful winery up there. So, and the great thing about Cabernet Franc is you have persistence. That wine will still be with me in literally 2 or 3 minutes, and it's unbelievable. Up is the NARDIAN. Every winery should have a white wine, and we make only 10 barrels of this wine. It's called the NARDIAN. Weirdly, when I designed the label, which was back in 2020, I copied the logo of the OBE, the Order of the British Empire, and weirdly, 15 years later, received it. And so, you know, sometimes what you wish for, you get. This is the thing that masks this wine, which is, you know, really makes it stand out, is Muscadel. Muscadel is a cousin of Viognier from the Rhône, and everybody hates it in Bordeaux because it has very thick, thin skins and tends to rot quite quickly. But because we're cropping only at 3 bunches, we don't get that rot. And what you have is a fabulously unctuous, pumpy wine that you could probably just leave in the cellar and drink in about 10 years' time. So here we go. The nose really just shoots up, and great longevity, good acidity from Sauvignon Blanc.